395. One opening quick shot here for Haley. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Paul. Good morning.
You do look a little weary.
Yeah, a little tired.
According to a new study, when it comes to TVs, you get what you pay for up to a certain point. New study and research done shows while the cheapest TVs on the market don't have a good picture quality, spending does get, spending more gets you a much better picture, but that tapers off at about the $1,000 mark. After about $1,250 for a 65-inch television, the picture quality doesn't improve much with price, and sometimes it actually gets worse. So when you start buying a 65-inch screen and you're paying $1,000 or $1,250, you just compare them because it's manufacturer to manufacturer, a new study out there. So there you go. Little consumer advice. Man, we went 35, 36 hours. And I know you guys were working, and it was just we saw them there most of the time, and then every time we had to pass by there. But what's the report this morning?
Good morning, Paul. Yeah, we are in a dynamic state. Where storm after storm continues to hit us. We have been in storm mode since Saturday, June 10th. We're making progress. I know customers are frustrated. We are. It seems like every time we can get a pole up or line up, another storm comes through, so we're constantly reassessing. We have restored close to 150,000 customers since Saturday, June 10th. I know we had the other storm that hit us early Friday morning. We're down to about, last checked, I hear just under 30,000 customers to go. But give you an example, about 7, 8 o'clock last night, we were down to 28,000. Another storm came through and popped us back up above 30, but we've got some breakers closed and things of that nature. It's I know customers are frustrated. They'll see a neighborhood that's on or another area that gets on or may not see a crew in the area. Doesn't mean we're not working. We have there's a reason, and it's not out of neglect. We have a very detailed process we follow. Of course, we have to get essential services back on first. That's been done, and then we focus on circuits, neighborhoods that get as much customers on as quickly as possible. But there's been a lot of damage. We have nearly 40 miles of distribution lines that have been knocked down, approaching close to 200 broken poles. So a lot of damage throughout the area, a lot of transformers, and just a lot of trees blocking roadways, large trees falling on structures. So the crews are working hard. We'll have over 2,300 workers engaged as of today. We've had some challenges with those resources. These storms have hit all our neighboring states. So resources, those other utilities or contractors were slow to release because they're dealing with their home areas. But we have plenty of crews in the area we're working. We expect to make a lot of progress today. We're down to now, after you get the larger count zone, you get to those onesie-twosies, we call them. You get a pole up and you get one or two customers on, or a few. Yep. You know, the last ones we were getting circuits up to get hundreds of customers on. But we're working diligently. What we've never experienced this, Paul. We've never seen storm after storm after storm just keep rolling in. Usually when this happens, a storm hits, we do the assessment, go through our process, and we're done. But we can never get the assessments completed without another storm hitting us. And we're concerned about South Mississippi today. We see the weather forecast around the Natchez-Macomb area, which we'll be watching.
Because of our businesses are related in the fact that we're both layman, amateur weather people. We hear when a storm comes through, it takes the energy out of the atmosphere, and you know, you're probably okay. This doesn't. And it was really an amazing interview this morning with the National Weather Service and Eric. Eric says he's been there since I think he said 1998. He's never seen a weather system like this.
Right.
So it is a rarity.
Well, they just pop up. I mean, last night, we were in the war room, and they kept saying, get ready for another blast coming through here tonight. And we're looking at the map, and all of a sudden, you could just see this thing form over Yazoo County, and you're like, holy moly.
It was I don't see any rain anywhere around, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Right. And those disrupt the service. We can't put buckets in the air with 30-mile-per-hour gust or greater and lightning. Now, we work through rain all the time. That's not the concern. It's the lightning and high winds that can be destructive in that. And, we spend a lot of money tree trimming, but when you have a 15-foot right-of-way and an 80-foot tree falls, a lot of these neighborhoods, we go down roads, but people have large trees in their homes. We love them. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
In Bellhaven, Fondren, those areas, those big trees have been toppling and crashing our facilities.
And I know you guys do all you possibly can giving updates. It's kind of hard when you're talking about statewide, all through the service area, different neighborhoods. But, I mean, people want... Where is my house, 112 Oak Street, and I want to know how long it's going to take for me.
Right.
And sometimes it's just impossible.
And so like I said earlier, when a storm comes through, we get that assessment, and we go to work, we attack, and we can give precise restoration times. But because it's dynamic, it keeps changing. There's a lag in the updates.
Yeah.
In fact, it actually created some technical difficulties with us. But now our View Outage app, if you go to My Entergy and load that app on your phone, you can view outages different ways. When you open that app, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a gear icon. When you choose that, make sure you pick location. It'll sometimes give up what we call just a damage assessment tool, which is another tool that can show you how much damage we're doing.
I do have one question, because we were following that during our 36-hour blackout period, and at one point they said something like, and I'm paraphrasing this because I didn't see it, the better half told me, that everything was okay, or you're getting close to it, but you had to have a qualified electrician double check it.
Yes, thank you for that.
Now, what the heck does that mean?
Okay, thank you. Good question. So, your power's out. Make sure you do an assessment of your home. And what we mean is, if a limb took the meter base off of your house, or bit the weatherhead, that's the pipe. If you're served above ground and you have a weatherhead that goes up and the wire comes to the house, if that's bent or broken, that is your property, and you need to get an electrician there to fix it so we can reconnect you. So do that assessment of your property. Also, please, I know people are ready to clean their yards up. Limbs are down. I know you are too, Paul. You keep yours pristine, but please stay away from down power lines. Do not assume they're de-energized. They may have been there for a couple of days, but crews are working. You may not see them in your neighborhood, but that line is tied to a feeder's line to another line, and they're working on those lines. And it could always be energized, so stay away from that. And we'll be getting in to reconnect that service. But do that damage assessment. Make sure your meter base or your weatherhead is not damaged, so you can take service. You
keep the amount of maybe transformers that actually were destroyed also?
Yeah, so most of the transformers were done here with a pole attached. I think we're around 50 of those have been damaged that we've counted so far. We don't have a full assessment yet. So we keep a good storm supply, poles, conduit, and transformers there. Yes, we have had challenge with underground transformers, but usually don't see those damage. There may be occasion when a flood or high water may have gotten one, or a tree falls on one of those could damage it. Yes.
The amazing thing is when you start looking at it, and we drive out of this neighborhood, everything in this neighborhood is underground. But when you start driving through some of the neighborhoods and along the highways and byways, is we don't even pay attention how much is above us as far as lines and everything.
Well, keep in mind, and that's a good point. So we've had some transmission damage. This is mainly a distribution event, but power starts at the power plant. It has to get on your high voltage lines. So when our damage assessment, we have to fix power plants first, transmission lines, substations, distribution lines to get the power. So you may say they're not working in my neighborhood. Well, you may be fed from a substation that may have damage. So that damage assessment does that. But, yeah, we've had some transmission damages too.
Here's a little note as far as recruiting is concerned. If you believe in climate change and this is going to continue one way or the other, and you're looking for a job that's going to make sure you're employed for a while and you're looking for a new career, I would talk to Haley and the crew at Entergy, because I think you'll be fully employed with some overtime coming up in the future.
And, Paul, storms are more intense. Our data is showing that too.
Man, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you for the chance to update our customers.